my name is George, first of all, and I like to refer to myself as a man from everywhere but nowhere, because I've been around the world for a lot. So I was born in Cape Verde, migrated here to this country at the age of 5, spent time obviously in Boston where I moved in with my grandmother. I grew up in a very small community of Cape Verdeans. And we weren't allowed to go anywhere because we didn't speak the language, we didn't understand the culture. So we were sort of like trapped into this one little section between Dorchester and Roxbury. We couldn't do anything because obviously Boston, being it segregated, was not safe to be around. And so what my parents did, we found out that one of our distant relatives had a martial arts school. And that was the only thing every Cape Verdean kid did. So obviously for me it was either pick between karate or church. So not to say that I'm not a church person, but I kind of karate overruled church a little bit. I was not athletic growing up. No, I was this soft-spoken little boy that, got picked on a lot, I must say, and because English was not my first language, I have, like I said, a hard side and a soft side. I think the first place I think a boy learns to be tough is through their dad, and my dad was the exact opposite. He was a little bit on the heavy side, smoked cigarettes. I loved his personality, a big, he'll joke with you all day. And so for me, I think when I started to become more of a teenager, I wanted to feel more empowered. So my martial arts instructor became like my strong dad. And I just kept imagining myself thinking, wow, I want to grow up to be just like him. If you can figure this out, if you can figure it out, it'll take you from like whatever don't go out right now, it's like guaranteed. All the way behind you. So I think right before college, I kind of hit my stride in terms of winning state championships. My dream was to go to the Olympics, and it's something I had a chance to, but my father kind of grounded me, made me realize the importance of education, so I stopped. And then after I graduated from college with Holy Cross, I came back and I wanted to kind of resume my martial arts career. And that's where things kind of took off. In 1988, Taekwondo became an Olympic sport, but I was in high school, and so what I wanted to do was just go back because I felt like that was my chance. As an immigrant, a parents that didn't have much, I kind of figured, wow, if I could just make it to the Olympics. The higher I got up, the more I kept seeing it become a reality. And for me, it was, the ticket was the sponsorship. If I could just make it in place, silver or gold, you're pretty much taken care of. Cape Verde had an Olympic team, and I was asked to join. They toured us around the islands, and one of the little boys came up to me, and all I could think of is watching them, just looking at him, and I could see myself. And he said, hey, I heard you're George and you're really, really good. And I said, yeah, I think I am a little bit. And I remember my fondest memory, I think, about martial arts is that he came over. He said, I heard you win so much in America, so I'm kind of hoping that you can go and win something for us finally. And for me, I still hold that. I couldn't get back with the gold medal or the silver medal as I promised. The first thing that people do is you don't really think about the times that you win in life. You generally tend to focus on the times that you failed. Now, after winning hundreds of trophies, and I mean, with no exaggeration, I came back and I literally burnt everything. I have 2 daughters. They say, Dad, did you ever win anything? I said, I did. It's one of my deepest regret that I'm unable to share my past with people, but I fought so hard to distance myself from the past. Martial arts, the business just happened. It wasn't something I intended to do. So everybody thinks that, they come in and go, wow, you started this wonderful place in Winthrop. But I was like, no, I'm not the start of it. It was Maureen Matsumoto. She's the reason why I'm here. I felt like I didn't want to be around adults because I didn't want to go into the story as to what brings me to karate. But with kids, I found myself really like attaching myself to them and watching these kids that were just like me, non-athletic, didn't believe too much in themselves, lack of confidence. So in those kids, I saw myself. Martial arts in Winthrop had really taken off, and that's the beginning of what you have today. So it was tough. It was tough because I grew too fast, and I didn't know what I was doing, but yet the only thing I think they saw was what they were getting. So as far as business acumen, that's something I didn't have. But I did have the ability to grasp them on the floor. I've moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times so far. And now looking back, it's almost like saying, wow, it's like, God has a plan for everybody. And then look to the flag, and now to the flag. Thank you. Let's stretch out. And I try to tell people that martial arts is not about fighting. You take martial arts not to fight. Is that there's only one butt you got to kick in life, and that's your own butt. And in the process of kicking your own butt, you're going to become so strong to the point where people are going to see you. My big thing is to find a kid one by one, and then find out what's troubling them, and then try to take that weakness and build it into their strength. And then the yin and the yang, if you know it, I always say, look, we live in a world of duality. Sometimes you can take a kid that's very, very strong, and maybe you need to humble him a little bit. You need to teach him weakness. And then you're going to take a kid that's weak and keep him strong. Now, what's more important, the strength or the weakness? And I tell people, well, what's more important, a tiger or a butterfly? A tiger's strong, but nobody wants to be around a tiger. A butterfly is very gentle and nice, but everybody can hurt a butterfly. So within you, you're going to have to be both. And that's the moral of the story of this place. So what we do is we took like an Asian art and we fused it with like a Western style of thinking. So my job is, we won't, we're not going to have you do push-ups on your knuckles. We'll high-five you to death. Positive reinforcement works just as good as negative reinforcement. They both work, but it's the approach that we choose to hear, though. Well, I always tell people, so black belt, it's only 3 inches you're behind, and I always tell people you're going to have to cover the rest. So a black belt is like meaningless. You'll never find perfection by looking for excellence, but you can find excellence looking for perfection. So a black belt and perfection are synonymous. You're never going to achieve either or, but it's that search, though, that makes it worthwhile. Like, for example, I'm an Olympic athlete, and there could be a guy here that's just a regular Joe Schmo black belt. Well, I'm no better than he is, because the frame of mind, the drive that we have to both do what our tasks are, that's what makes us a black belt. The hardest part about martial arts is walking in. So I always say, you're going to become 100% of who you are already intended to be. So the hardest part about martial arts is having that courage of really putting yourself out there. So it's for you to take that initiative and just say, you know what, I'm going to do it. And once you do that, I'm telling you, hey, you're not going to look back. And what martial arts does, it kind of encapsulates all three. It's that the mental toughness that you go through, in the martial arts, the physical toughness, and that spirit to hold it all together. For me, that's what makes it so special. And that's the message that I want to get out there to everybody, to as many people as I can, because I've seen the benefits that it's had in my own life.